Hi, I'm Katie Ziskind, the owner of Wisdom Within Counseling here in Niantic, Connecticut. You can learn more about how we help anxious children, depressed teenagers, and fighting couples at wisdomwithinct.com. That's wisdomwithinct.com. In this video, I wanted to talk with you about a trauma bond and what that looks like for couples and how you can help yourself if you're in one. So a lot of times when couples end up in a trauma bond, you're experiencing a high conflict cycle of communication, name calling, door slamming, really intense, very frustrating anger. After fights, you might feel hopeless, upset, distressed, and overall just wonder if there's a future for you and your partner. As well, trauma bonds can be so distressing because both people are completely dysregulated. And dysregulation is when you're not grounded, you're not centered at all, you are just filled with intense emotion, your blood is boiling, you're not feeling heard, right? There are a lot of needs not being met. So in a trauma bond, we help, as counselors, we help you feel restored so you can feel creative, you can develop a sense of groundedness, you can feel calm and articulate your words more effectively. And you can also know when you need to pull back and what we call self-soothing and practice some self-care. So if you are in a trauma bond, you may be really struggling with feeling connected and close. Also, so what happens is that the moment, whatever the trigger is, the fight, it could be laundry on the floor, it could be money, it could be parenting or infertility, whatever that is, it triggers an emotion that is really a wound from childhood. So the inner child part of you is still needing love and still needing affection or needing to feel reassured or needing to feel safe in some way. And this fight that you're having with your romantic partner actually triggers the wounds of your inner child that are actually unresolved. So the unresolved trauma that you're carrying actually impacts your romantic relationship. So if there's any sort of, issues that you had growing up, say you were a child and you had parents who were alcoholics or parents who had severe mental health issues like depression or bipolar, or you had a parent and you were a little child and your parent had borderline personality disorder and is incredibly unstable and unreliable or moody. If your parents had anger issues and in your childhood you had to take care of your parent emotionally for whatever reason, you missed out on being a child and you had to be a parent at a very young age and therefore developed some childhood trauma from that experience. And you push through, now here you are an adult and you're in a relationship, and now some of these younger wounds, these unhealed wounds are getting re-triggered by the arrows your partner is throwing at you. So what happens in a trauma bond is both people have childhood trauma, and both people as adults in this romantic relationship are triggering each other's childhood trauma, and they know how to do it super well. And that's also one of the attack mechanisms in a trauma bond, is hitting that other person's childhood trauma wounds. It might be using things against them in a fight, kind of really damaging what we call trusting intimacy. Trauma bonds are a cycle that they can be broken. There is hope, especially from working with a trauma bond specialist in couples therapy, such as myself or one of our team members here at Wisdom Within Counseling. But if you're in a trauma bond, there is hope. The first step is working with a couples therapist who understands trauma bonds and complex trauma. The second thing is understanding when you need to pull back, when it's not effective to keep talking or keep the fight going, because it always takes two to fight, So really being able to say, hey, I'm not my best self. What I'm about to say is going to hurt your feelings, and that is not who I want to be. And so I'm going to take a shower. I'm going to go for a walk for 15 minutes. I'm going to take a glass of cool water. I'm going to have a snack. I'm going to, whatever it is, do some knitting, draw, paint, use some clay, de-stress yourself in some way. By yourself, just kind of calm and center, regain that groundedness. And that skill of self-soothing can take months to learn, right? Because your partner may be re-triggering you constantly. from self-soothing, you can develop a grounded, calm, confident version of who you want to be and who you are. The true self that we talk about, restoring that sense of true leadership in your life where you're just calm and accepting of yourself. And that is the best place for two people who have a history of trauma and a history of abandonment and pain, and maybe feel like they have immature parents, and really can then build a healthy relationship and break the cycle that they experienced in childhood. So healing from a trauma bond benefits not only you as a person, but your partner. And if you decide you want to have children, or if you already have children, the communication skills that you learn in counseling actually help you communicate with your friends, family, and coworkers even better. So you're passing down healthy communication skills to your children from being in couples counseling. As well, in a trauma bond, we talk about complex trauma. We talk about post-traumatic stress disorder and like the symptoms of that, what that looks like, and how to support each other in an intimate relationship when one or both people have complex post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD. And so that is really a special thing, to be able to nurture each other and care for each other, and truly build an emotional, intimate connection and meaningful connection through couples therapy. And trauma bonds are not a specialty for many couples therapists. A lot of therapists are just generalists, or actually in a negative way get sucked into the argument cycle that a trauma bond kind of naturally has. So working with a specialist in trauma bond marriage counseling can help you really gain effective communication. So if you two start to yell or get into this typical argument pattern, I'll pause you, I'll stop you, I'll gently, and playfully kind of redirect you both into a healthier way, a more effective way, right in session of learning how to communicate, so that you can both feel heard and validated emotionally, because you deserve to feel loved, you deserve to feel respected, and you deserve to have a safe, nurturing, romantic, and intimate partnership. But sometimes we don't learn these skills in childhood, and when our parents, may not have treated us so well, you may have learned how to survive and live in fear mode, and, grew up with a lot of anxiety. And so finally now in your romantic relationship, you can both work on unresolved childhood trauma. You can learn to reduce those triggers, build some positive coping tools through holistic creative therapies here at Wisdom Within Counseling. And overall, you can develop a sense of hope, and conflict resolution skills, so that you can build long-lasting love. So if you're looking to work with a trauma bond specialist, if you're in a high conflict relationship, feel hopeless after fights, and really want a sense of emotional connection together, I would love to help you, or someone on my team, one of my marriage and family therapists, would love to help. You can book your free phone consultation for trauma bond couples therapy and to break that trauma bond cycle at wisdomwithinct.com. That's wisdomwithinct.com. And I would love to help you heal from complex trauma, develop a sense of resilience and playfulness in your romantic relationship. You can book your phone consult at wisdomwithinct.com. I'm Katie Ziskind, the owner of Wisdom Within Counseling.